What's going on, everybody? It's the Halfback here, and welcome to episode number 7 of my Rising Above Adversity AFC Bournemouth safe. Of course, in the previous episode, we played the massive Capital One Cup final against Manchester City. If you haven't seen that episode, please go back and watch that incredible episode. But, you know, the focus is back on the league for us now, and I'll show you what has happened in the league since we played Manchester City in the Capital One Cup final. Of course, we may already know that we beat Manchester City 3-1 in the Capital One Cup final, which means we'll be in Europe next season, which is, for a club like Bournemouth, is mental. But we followed that up with a 2-1 win against Wolves, and I was worried about us suffering from a kind of a cup hangover after winning the Capital One Cup, and we did look like we was for a long time in the game against Wolves. But you can see on the 81st minute, after going a goal behind, Callum Wilson managed to get an equaliser, and then Junior Stanislas coming up with the winner off the bench to win us the game. And then we went away to Fulham. Pretty incredible game. I mean, Fulham scored really late on in the game. Which what was it? Yeah, they took the lead in the 89th minute, and then in the 93rd minute of the game, Callum Wilson again popping up with a crucial goal for us. And then we followed that up with a 3-1 home win against Blackburn. Callum Wilson again in the goals, a hat-trick this time. I mean, Callum Wilson has just been incredible lately. You can see the goals, the amount of goals he's scoring, you know. And he's not just scoring, he's scoring just big, crucial goals for us. You can see he scored the goal in the Capital One Cup final to give us the lead against City. He then scored in the 81st minute against Wolves to equalise the game for us, that allowed us to go on and win the game. He scored the equalising goal in the 93rd minute against Fulham, and then he scored a hat-trick against Blackburn. So he's scoring really big goals for us. I'm surprised there's not been really any interest in terms of Premier League clubs for him yet, but I'm sure come the summer there will be interest in him, and hopefully, you know, we can fend off that interest and keep him at the club for a long time. But after we played Blackburn, two kind of disappointing results for ourselves. The first one against Blackpool at home, Blackpool languishing towards the foot of the table. So at home, we was really expected to win this game, and they actually took the lead. In terms of the stats, we dominated the game. You know, you can see we had a lot more shots than Blackpool. Possession, we were the better side in terms of keeping the ball. But after the Matt Ritchie goal just after half-time, I was expecting us to kind of kick on and get the winner. But unfortunately, we just couldn't find it. We just wasn't good enough going forward. And Blackpool managed to hold out for a draw. And then we played Cardiff away. Cardiff in and around those playoff spots. So it was kind of a really big game for us, this one. They took the lead in the 40th minute through Owen Doyle. And then they got sending off in the 75th minute, and at that point I thought, you know, we probably could go on and get a point, possibly even win the game, especially when Andrew Sermon popped up with an equaliser in the 83rd minute. We had enough time in the game to go and get a winner. So I kind of changed my tactic, went all out attack, and it just backfired. I mean, you can see Doyle again scoring in the 92nd minute. Really disappointing to lose the game in that time to a team down to 10 men. It was really annoying, but that is where we stand going into this game against Middlesbrough. For old Live.com, this game against Middlesbrough, you can see they are in 7th place at the moment in the Championship. We are a point ahead of them in 6th, but obviously we do have a game in hand over them. So a win here today could see us move into 5th in the Championship. So let me get into today's game. Is really crunch time now in the Championship. You can see it's so tight up there. Cardiff are also just a point behind us. You know, anyone from, you know, Middlesbrough down to possibly, you know, you could say Nottingham Forest in 12th, or have a real good chance of getting into the playoffs. So we've got to be on our game from now until the end of the season. But let me pick the team for today's game. I'm not going to play with this system. I'm going to go back to a 4-2-3-1. Of course, I've got to mention Matt Ritchie is back from injury. Where is he? Where is Matt Ritchie? Yeah, he's there. He's back from his injury. Been back a few games now. Great to have him back in the side. Struggling to, you know, he was out for 3-4 months, so understandably he's taking a little bit of time to get back into his groove, but hopefully, you know, he can find the form he was showing at the start of the season. But you can see we've got Tommy Elphick out suspended for this one, so I'm going to bring in Elliot Ward. We don't have Danny Wilson available. He's injured at the moment, so Elliot Ward will get a rare start. Not played many games for us this season, but hopefully he can do a job for us. Just looking at who I've got. Mark Pugh in, and yeah, I think that'll be the team for today's game. So we've got Artur Boruc in goal. We've got back four of Simon Francis, Elliot Ward, Steve Cook and Charlie Daniels, Andrew Sermon and Harry Arter in the middle of the park, Ryan Fraser on the right wing, Matt Ritchie as a centre attacking midfielder, Mark Pugh on the left wing, and Callum Wilson up front. And on the bench we've got Ryan Alsop, Adam Smith, Ewan O'Kane, Craig Davis, Junior Stanislas, Callum McGregor and Ian Hart. As I said, this is a really crucial game, hoping for 3 points against a team that are close to us in the championship table. I'm not sure the result in the reverse fixture in this one, but Borough, of course, will be looking to get some points here. Got a strong team out for this one, of course. But just want to touch on the fact that we've qualified for the Europa League. Now, I'm not too sure. I've been thinking about it a bit. Let me just put the league table actually on the screen for you guys. Of course, league table very important this stage of the season. So I'll get that in there. Yeah, there we go. Can I like? Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on the fact that we're in the Europa League this season. If I bring down the highlight speed a bit, now it's actually a bit of a concern for me. Of course, winning the Capital One Cup, fantastic achievement to win the Capital One Cup. But if we stay in the Europa League as Matt Ritchie comes off injured, I was just speaking about him coming back from injury, and he's gone and picked up another one. Hopefully he's not out for too long. But we'll bring on Ewan O'Kane. We'll move Harry Arter up the pitch. But yeah, if we're in the Europa League next season, if we're in the Championship, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a lot of games. You think about it, the Championship schedule is already congested as it is. You know, as Ryan Fraser goes in, headed in, but Lee Camp makes the save. Yeah, so the Championship schedule already so congested as it is. Add to that Europa League. Say if we get to the group stages, that's going to be a lot of games. So I think promotion for us is really big for this season. In terms of, you know, the amount of games that we'll have to play next season. But obviously winning the Capital One Cup was incredible. I wouldn't swap that for anything. But I am worried. I am quite worried about, you know, the thought of playing Europa League next season, especially if we are in the Championship. We're going to need a really big squad to deal with the amount of games that are going to come our way. But Middlesbrough on the attack in this one at the moment. Adam Clayton on the ball. Hopefully he can't find the pass. Poor pass really, but picked up by Daniels. Artur Boruc playing really dangerously there, passing it to Daniels, and we eventually lost the ball. Clayton plays it into a wild shot, and Middlesbrough take the lead. Half an hour just gone in this one. We started the game really well, but Middlesbrough have taken the lead, and that's really disappointing. This is a huge game in the context of our season. Of course, we do have a game in hand over Borough, but we don't want to be losing to one of our main rivals. You know, with not long left to go into the season, we're coming towards half time now. Charlie Daniels having a really poor game and another injury. Mark Pugh's going off injured now. 2 injuries in the game. Matt Ritchie going off earlier on. So we're gonna bring on Callum McGregor. Hopefully Mark Pugh's not out for too long, because we haven't got an abundance of wing options on the wing. Jacob Murphy, sorry, I forgot to mention, is also out injured at the moment. So we're struggling for numbers on the wing. But hopefully heading into the second half of this game, we can start to put a bit of pressure on Borough and turn this game around. But early on in the second half, not too much happening in terms of clear-cut chances, but throw in here, Simon Francis into Fraser. Fraser whips in the ball. Callum McGregor's there, the on-loan man from Celtic. Callum McGregor at the back post, rises above the fullback and nods it in to make it 1-0. That's exactly what we needed quite early on in the second half to get that goal and level the game up. Callum McGregor off the bench to get the goal. Hopefully we can push on now and get that winner with half an hour to go in the game. Callum Wilson not having a great game up front. I'm actually thinking to go 2 up front in this one now. Who have we got on the bench in terms of strikers? I think Ranty's out injured at the moment. Craig Davis he's on the bench, but you know that's been that signing hasn't worked out at all for me. But so I'm not going to bring him on. I'll switch Callum Wilson to a poacher and see if he can, you know, get in the box a bit more. But not long to go. 25 minutes left in the game. Really want us to go on and push on for that winner now. So I'm going to make a few tactical changes to go in search of that winner. I'm going to tell the players to be a bit more direct, get the ball up the pitch a bit quicker, and I'm also going to tell them to exploit the flanks and see if we can do something with that. 20 minutes left in the game. You can see we've not, in terms of the player stats, we've not really performed that well in the game. But Charlie Daniels concedes a penalty. He's had a terrible game. On a booking. Just surprised he didn't get a second booking there. He's had a really bad game, Charlie Daniels, and now he's giving away a penalty. Adam Clayton will step up. And Artur Buric, he looked like he got a fingertip on that. But it's gone in the top corner, and Middlesbrough take the lead. As you see there, we've moved into 7th place in the Championship now. Just outside the playoffs. So we're going to have to change the tactics a bit more. We're going to have to go overload. We've got to chuck everything at Borough now. Take more risks. Close down much more. Much higher tempo. Push the defensive line much higher. And we've got to go and search. You can see, look at that. Charlie Daniels, a 4.4 rating. Wow. I'm not sure I've ever seen an average rating as low as that. I've got to bring him off. He's having an absolute shocker. 4.4 rating. Wow. Anyway, he's going to come off. Terrible performance from Charlie Daniels. Not had a great season in fairness overall. 5 minutes left in the game. No highlights. Well, there is one now, but it's Borough on the ball. Simon Francis gets it clear, but there's no one. He's passing it to no one there, but defensive mistake from Amero. But he's got enough time to rectify his mistake. Lee Camp on the ball. Of course, we sold Lee Camp to Middlesbrough in the January window. And wild shots in, wild shot over the bar. Middlesbrough so close to extending the lead. We've got a few minutes left to try and find an equaliser. The ball's pumped forward. Again, wild shot on the ball. Close him down. Look how many men are around him. Someone's got to close him down. He finds a pass back to Loftus-Cheek. Middlesbrough are going to build this attack, passing it around really nicely at the moment. We just can't get the ball off him. But Andrew Sermon does make the tackle. But Udino Kane just loses it straight away. Adam Clayton's in. Puts it in for the side netting, thankfully. But it looks like we're heading towards defeat in this one. Fitness of the team is not great right now. Ball whipped in from a free kick. Can we make one last opportunity? Harry Arter on the ball into Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's got to find the pass. He takes on the man, Fraser. But that looks like it could be it. Fraser loses the ball, but it does find his way back to Francis Sermon. One last chance, maybe. No, it's not going to happen. Bournemouth 1, Middlesbrough 2. Really frustrating result. As I said, Borough, of course, really close to us in the table. So this was a crucial game, you know, in the run-in. But unfortunately, we've come unstuck at home against Middlesbrough. And that leaves us in 7th position, in the table. Of course, we've got a game in hand over them and the sides above us in the table. But we've hit a bit of poor form, just 1 win in the last 5 games. So we're not in great form at the moment. 2 defeats on the bounce. No win in 3 league games. So we've really got to start getting ourselves together, and that's going to start with the game against Huddersfield. I'm not sure which game I'm actually going to come back for. So I'm going to wrap this episode up here now. Thank you guys again for all your support. I really appreciate you guys hitting the like button. I hope you guys continue to support these videos because I'm really enjoying, you know, bringing out this content at the moment. If you enjoyed this episode, do leave a like on it. But it's been the Halfback, and I'll see you guys in a bit.